Well, good afternoon, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up those football gods here. Wake up. All right, so it is hump day of our bye week. And of course, there's not a whole lot of things going on. The only thing that we have to talk about will be Philadelphia versus the Giants, and the mess that somehow I've gotten drawn into, between Cop Pizzle and Philly 500. And I'm not going to deal with that right now, but all I got to say is somebody's going to get jacked up and somebody's going to get the teeth kicked in. So Philly 500, figure out which one you want, and whatever's left over, Cop Pizzle, you get that. But we'll deal with that mess later on. I'm not even playing this week, and people talking trash about me. It just drives me crazy. But I read this article this morning, I think from Blogging the Boys or something like that. But to make a long story short, they were going through about if the Cowboys, if they're in a position to draft a quarterback, if they should draft a quarterback, or if they should stick with Dak Prescott. And, they were trying to go both ways with it and everything else. And I was actually going to deal with that video right now. But today's Veterans Day. And one of the greatest vets that I've ever had the privilege of actually meeting and talking to for a little bit, who's also my favorite Dallas Cowboy player, Roger Staubach, was on it's Good Morning Football on NFL Network. And he talked about Dak Prescott and whether or not Dak Prescott would get better and if the Cowboys should stick with him or not. And I'm going to say this. A lot of you don't know Roger Staubach. You may have heard the name and things like that. But he's kind of like E.F. Hutton. And you older people like me understand E.F. Hutton. But when E.F. Hutton speaks, people listen. And you should listen to what Roger Staubach has to say. So I'm going to play this. It's a long clip, but it's worthwhile to know because if you don't know where you've been, you certainly don't know where you're going. And for those younger guys out there, you have to understand what the Dallas Cowboys once were. So let's go to that clip right now.
And now joined by one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. He is a Hall of Famer, two-time Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP. Had to take a breath. Okay, NFL Man of the Year, a Heisman Trophy winner. Another breath. He also served 4 years in the United States Navy, including a tour in Vietnam. It's our honor to have him, especially here on Veterans Day. Please welcome an absolute legend, Roger Staubach. Roger, how you doing?
Good. How you doing? That was a great story there. Peyton Manning is a good one, but his dad and I played against each other, Archie. So I enjoyed that little piece there, and listening to the gal too. So
no doubt about it.
I've been sitting here. I've been sitting here listening to you guys. So it's a pleasure being on.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your past. There's so much that stands out about your career, and I want to start with the remarkable things that you did on the field. But you came back after 4 years in the military and just dominated the league. So the question is, how were you able to stay sharp during those 4 years away from the game?
Well, when I graduated from the Naval Academy, I was 23 years old, and when I went in the service, I wasn't sure if I'd ever play football again, but I really wanted to. But I still enjoyed the service, and but I spent I spent a year in Vietnam, which I worked out, but I didn't play football, and then I got a chance. I was stationed after Vietnam at the Pensacola Naval Air Station. And we had a base football team there called the Pensacola Goshawks. And that helped because I was in quite a few games. The first year I got there was only a few, but then my last year, that's when I realized, I said, I want to play again. So I went to training camp with the Cowboys. I took leave at that time. I was still in the service. And I had a real good week in training camp. And so Coach Landry said he'd like for you to give it a try here with the Cowboys. So that's what really. Once he said that, I made up my mind I was going to leave the service and play for the Dallas Cowboys.
Thank God he did.
It's been an incredible career, obviously, an incredible football life that you have. Look, we cover the football day to day, and in Chicago right now, there's a lot of people saying the Bears should go from one quarterback, Nick Foles, to another quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky, and then maybe go back to Foles, back to Trubisky, back to Foles, back to Trubisky. In 1971, Coach Landry rotated you and Craig Morton consistently throughout the season, and you ended up leading Dallas to a Super Bowl victory. What was it like going through that season when Coach Landry is saying, you're in, you're out, you're in, you're out? Could that work today?
Well, that's really interesting because when
didn't work then.
Don Meredith was the quarterback when I was in the service, and he retired when I left the service in '69, and I couldn't believe it. It was like I said, "Are you kidding me?" They called me, and I was still I was still in the Navy. He said, "Meredith just retired." That was in June, and if he hadn't retired, I wouldn't have stayed with the Cowboys because Craig Morton was really a good quarterback, and they'd had Meredith, so I would have been the third team. But now I'm playing behind Craig Morton, and Craig was a very good quarterback, and he had an injury or two, and so the third year in '71, Coach Landry said we got two quarterbacks, we'll alternate games, and we all thought maybe he was having a stroke or something in the meeting when he said that. He just said, Roger, you and Craig are going to alternate games, and I started actually the first game, and then Craig played the next game, and so we ended up 4-3 in the middle of the year, and it was, the team was upset about it. The quarterback not only has throws and maybe runs once in a while, but you're a leader. And Craig Morton was really a fine quarterback too. I don't know how they did it, but Coach Landry announced after we were 4-3 that I would start the rest of the season, and it would have been the same. Our team was really a good team. We really had a good team that year, and so we won 10 in a row, won the Super Bowl. And it was Craig would have done the same thing. Our defense and the offense took us there, and so it was really the team and the other coaches that talked Coach Landry into switching to we need to have one quarterback. And Coach Landry was a phenomenal coach, but that was not one of his better decisions to have us having two quarterbacks battling each other.
It didn't work.
Seemed to work out at the end, though. Maybe the Chicago Bears locker room is listeling. I was born in Chicago, born a Bears fan. So, hey, if you're telling me there's a chance for a Super Bowl at the end of all of this, I'm here for
FYI, a little information on that. They actually rotated series in a game, which was an utter failure. As Roger Staubach says, they literally were like two ships passing in the night. In the end, they ended up trading Craig Morton. He went on to Denver and helped the Cowboys win another Super Bowl when they played for the Dallas Cowboys' second Super Bowl win. So there's that. Let's get the whole story straight.
For it. Mr. Staubach, so happy and honored to have you on the show today. We have to talk about your Cowboys this season. We all know, and it's well documented, especially here on NFL Network, how much Dak Prescott looks up to you, what a role model you've been for him in his young career. Was there something broken with this Dallas team before the Dak injury?
The team, the response of the players, Dak is well loved. By the team, they really, I see that and read the paper and everything. And I've talked to Dak. I have talked to him since his injury, and he can't wait to get back. I told him I separated my shoulder one year, missed most of the season, and it seems like it takes an eternity to get better again, but it goes fast. And Dak will come back strong, and I really feel that he is. Not only a fine football player, but he has got the team behind him, and I think they really do miss him right now. Of course, that Steeler game was a good one, and Garrett came out of nowhere, and he played a really good game as a quarterback. But they really like Dak as a leader. and he's a very, very fine football player also. Yeah.
He really is across the board. We have to get to some really important stuff here, Roger. We're admiring your beard, which looks completely handsome, and we like the way that you've changed your look a little bit. You know, it was a few weeks ago, it was Halloween, and our very own Peter Schrager here dressed up on national television as your former head coach, Coach Landry. He had the fedora, he was sharp, he owned it, he committed. If we could get a side-by-side of Peter and Coach Landry, there we go. How do you think he did, Staubach?
I think, well, you know, it's not bad at all. I'd give him maybe a 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
I'd be stretching it a 5, but maybe a 5.
Oh, Lordy.
I appreciate that.
They both look good there. Yeah, Coach Landry was had that hat on the sidelines and brings back great memories.
The man in the hat. Look, Roger Staubach, obviously we are such huge fans of yours, but you've also teamed up with USAA, the NFL's official salute to service partner, to offer a pretty cool opportunity for military veterans and members. What can you tell us about that on this Veterans Day?
Well, of course, all Veterans Days, they really come forward, and around for the year they take care of veterans, but they have the salute to service. It's a great award. It's called USAA Salute to Service Sweepstakes, and the winner is Ultimate Fan Cave is part of it also, and you can win a lot of really nice things. So it's a big deal year round for USA and veterans, but Veterans Day itself is a salute to service. It's a big deal for USAA, and the veterans are benefited from it very nicely. I'm proud to be involved.
Roger, we appreciate
it.
All right, so shout out to veterans there. Shout out. Okay, so later on I'll be back with more of my take about why you do want to bring Dak Prescott back as opposed to drafting a rookie. I know some people will say it's a money issue and all that. We could save some money. But I got to be honest with you. When have we, gone out there and spent money and thought that we've done a good job with that? When you have some things that really, really work and work well, you want to kind of stick with them. But I'll go into that a little bit more later. And as Roger Staubach, and like I said, he's like E.F. Hutton. When he speaks, you should listen. He is well loved on this team. That team literally will go to hell and back for their quarterback. And that's a rare thing these days. And when you look around with all these teams, a lot of these teams that have put a lot of faith in their quarterbacks are now looking to try and find other ones. Ones that guys literally were saying, oh, I'll take that guy over Dak, or I'll take that guy over Dak. Well, those teams are looking for new quarterbacks. So we'll see what we see. And I appreciate you guys, as always, being here, and I will be back later on. Peace out.